On a beautiful Indian summer day in October, a group of community volunteers from the Clarion area came together with their camcorders and spent the day videotaping the people, places, and happenings of the Clarion area. They came back with some great pictures and stories. This is Our Town Clarion. Our Town Clarion was made possible in part by Clarion University of Pennsylvania, advancing academic excellence and shaping professional careers since 1867. On the web at clarion.edu.
My name is Kate Huffnagel of Clarion County and a fourth generation Huffnagel from this area. I own an art gallery downtown. I'm very active in the arts and actually come from a family interested in art. I wanted to introduce you to the Clarion art scene, which has been a very important part of my life ever since I was a child. The Arts Council and the local arts have stimulated enough interest to really support the local art market. This is what led me to open my gallery, which was in fact my 50th birthday present to myself. At the gallery, we do about 80% of our business in framing, but my major goal is to be local artists and be an accessible resource for working artists. I try to deal with the younger students who are trying to prepare portfolios for the first time. We work with older people who are making that risk. It is a way for me to extend an earlier part-time career as a teacher and to develop my own goal in life to be an art mentor. One of the important things that the Clarion County Arts Council does is that every year we stage an art show for the senior high school. Currently this show is exhibited in our local library and it generally hangs for about a month. For many of these students, it is perhaps the only time their own creativity will be on public view. It is nerve-wracking for the kids, but eminently satisfying when they stand to their own art and how the public reacts and responds to their vision of the world. For me, the most beautiful and the safest spot in town is the Clarion Cemetery. This is a large, unwalled, open area with beautiful old trees. It's a migratory stopping place for many birds. It is, well, I think of it as the user-friendly cemetery. Although there are many of my kith and kin planted up on the hill, there are an equal number who travel through there every day. It is a place we go to ride our bicycles, to walk our dogs around in the lower fields. There are places in the back where kids fly kites. Both I and my children learned our ABCs by reading the headstones. And you can find us anytime there are fireworks, sitting at Dad's grave, watching the sky float over the stadium. It is a wonderful, comforting, positive place, and a place where we all learn to respect those who mourn as they are there for their services, but who take advantage of the sheer beauty of that spot to love it and remember those that have gone before. I wanted to be a part of this because it is home, and as my home, it's become very valuable to me. As a place I was anxious to run away from in my teen years to a place where I returned to raise my own children, it has taught me that, you know, become my own person and came back here to have my own family, raise my own kids, to be your own person.
My name is Susan Hayes, and I've been here since 1981 when I came here to go to college. We just decided to go out and look at the Port Farm because it's been around for around 200 years in Clarion County. We started out looking at the farmhouse and then kind of did an overview, the pond and the cattle barns and the places where they feed the calves. And then we went up on the hill where they grow the grain, the corn feed, and got a good view that you could look out across Clarion. The reports told us that in the 1700s, it was established by a William Penn land treaty. This is the 6th generation that is working on the farm. The youngest person on the farm is, I think, about 14, and he's in the business with his dad. When we left the farm, Margieport, the wife, said, "Oh, we need to take a shot, walking a pretty shot, because they're walking back in towards, and there's the silos and so on." So they walked hand in hand towards their farm. Their little girl's in between them, Katie. The modular home industry is a growing industry in the area. When I first moved here, there was probably one factory that worked over in Shippenville. I think it was Astro, Condor, Colony, New Era, and Structural and Modulars that came around in the 80s and were established. And we have a large number of people in the population, especially in the Strattonville area, the Clarion area, who work there. Well, we just thought that churches, especially the way things are going in our country now, was an important thing to look at, because most of us go, and there's kind of a wide variety in Clarion, and I just thought it was an important thing to see. I grew up near Pittsburgh, so I grew up where the houses were this far apart, and you could reach out and tap the neighbor's window, and still you knew nobody's business. When I left the house that I grew up in, I didn't know my neighbors at all, and they didn't know me. And here, I live out in the country, and it's rural, and I'm not anywhere near my neighbors, yet I know my neighbors, if that makes any sense. And it's a good community that you can, people, I think, reach out to each other. And I was sick with cancer a few years ago, and, you know, the churches, I had people praying all over the place for me, and everybody was a big help, and, you know, it's just a wonderful place to live in terms of that, the friendliness of the people, helpfulness of the people. Everybody sort of helps each other and works together nicely, so I'd much rather live here than the bigger city. I've had both, and I prefer this.
My name is Zach Rudison. I've lived in the Clarion area for 22 years now. I went to Clarion High School and played football and track, and I've been away at school for the last 4 years, and now I've come back. I went to the Clarion High School versus AC Valley game. It was a good game. Very proud of my former team. They're doing very well. But I think it was more than just the game that I went to see. It was just how much a part of the community this Friday night football team games are, and it is. It's such a diverse gathering of people that come there, and from the old to the young. It's just covered, and you got not just the football team, but you got the cheerleaders, you got the band, and you got all the school participating too. So it's quite a significant event. One of my former coaches, and one who's been there for 37 years, Coach Art, he's retiring, and this was his last home game. Half the stadium came out onto the field, and just kind of, they put him up on their shoulders, and so he walked down the field. They brought a limo out for him, and it was just really nice to see him shown off like that. He's a great guy. He's just one of those guys that everybody likes. Sports was a very big thing for me growing up in this town. You have a chance to compete and to and better yourself, and most importantly, to be a part of the team. I love getting behind the camera, and I love shooting stuff, and also just getting reactions of people, too. Being there just to capture their moments, and even if it seemed trivial to those people at the time, they're still frozen there in time for a long time.
My name is Rod Ressler. I teach in the Department of Economics at Clarion University, and I've been here 10 years. I guess one of the first things I looked at was kind of structural. I looked at some of the buildings that are important on campus, and I looked at Becht Hall, which is one of the larger buildings on campus, one of the older ones. I took a couple shots of Founders Hall, which now houses the College of Arts and Sciences, and is one of the older buildings on campus and kind of our centerpiece. I also took a picture of Hart Chapel, another important building on campus. I also looked at our new library. We're just at the end stage of constructing a new library, so it's a state-of-the-art library that we're going to have in the at the university. I did take a look at our student recreation center. It was actually a new building project, and it was built a few years ago. And it has a running track, basketball courts, weight room, etc. for the students to take advantage of here. The last building I looked at is, I did take a picture of our College of Business Administration. We're really the first accredited college of business administration in the state system schools. I also wanted to incorporate our theater and music department. They're very active. We have a lot of plays on campus that are done at a very high level. Our music program is very strong. We have performances almost weekly. And so what I did is I went to the performance trial by jury that was written by Gilbert and Sullivan. Clarion is fortunate with the university in town here. We do have a contingent of students, international students, who are not familiar with Clarion. This is the first time they've seen the town. And I thought it would be nice to get kind of a fresh view of, you know, what an outsider thinks of Clarion.
The thing that I've noticed when I got here is that the place is very quiet. So if you want to concentrate on studying, this place is where you want to be.
The awkward thing was the way the people were so nice was kind of strange for me, because I've never met people so nice before, and I thought it was odd. But after a while, like, I got to know the people, and it's really nice, and I'm so glad that I came here.
The university has a good tradition in sports. And a couple of places I looked at, I first wanted to go to cover the wrestling program. Our wrestling program it's the only Division I sport on campus. And we've had a lot of success in the past. Kurt Angle is a former wrestler out of Clarion and former national champion, of course, Olympic champion. Our women's basketball program has been successful in the past, has made it to the national tournament. And so I also went in to take a look at one of their practices. I also looked in on the women's soccer program here. This is a brand new sport for Clarion, so most of the players are either sophomores or freshmen, so it's a very new sport. Finally, we had a match, a women's volleyball match today as well, and so I decided to spend a little bit of time there, taking some pictures of both, you know, the volleyball game and my son fooling around with the volleyball. I'm not originally from here. I'm from a small town in Wisconsin that's very similar. And it's nice to have found another town that has similar values, has similar types of things going on. And Clarion, both the community and the university, has been so good to me in terms of, you know, providing me a way of life, providing my family with a nice place to live. I just wanted to kind of show everybody else, you know, what a nice place it is, both in terms of the university and in terms of the community.
My name is Jerry Redinger, and I've lived here all my life. And I just wanted to show you a little bit of our area, the area where a lot of people like to go to just relax and have fun. Cook Forest is a great place to have people, families gather together for reunions, picnics, to meet friends, just to enjoy being outside. There's a lot of trails and just a lot of fun things to do. There's horseback riding and go-kart riding and rock climbing and hiking. And I went to Clarion Airport, Clarion County Airport, and it's just a small airport that people fly into. And when I was there, I got to talk with one of the flight instructors, and he was just taking somebody up, and we got to see them taking off from the runway. And he's pretty well booked up, I guess, with lessons that he gives to local people. Last night I went to Clarion Limestone versus Montauk High School. And this is the school that I had gone to when I was in school. And they're a real good team. They're in the playoffs again. Football, high school football in this area is a Friday night tradition. Whether it be at home or at an away game, just a lot of the people participate in it and really enjoy it. And our son is only 17, and he can't wait to go to every game. It's just part of life here. I'm real proud of our little town. I just think it's a nice, safe place, great environment to raise kids. And it's close enough to the larger cities, but far enough away that we feel comfortable, and we get to utilize the best of both worlds.
My name's Carrie Hawk. I'm a university student here in Clarion, and I'm originally from Harrisburg, PA. The SAFE quilt is actually used in this community with the children. The SAFE stands for Stop Abuse for Everyone, and it is the domestic violence center here in Clarion. They actually do children's projects, and what they did was community-wide got children to place their hands, and they had the option of putting their name or not putting the name with it. And they made the whole quilt all promised at the time that they would never hurt anyone with their hands. In order to get people to stop abuse, you have to teach them that it's wrong to hit, it's wrong to hate when they're young. And they actually do programs in the school, and they do setups in the mall, and it's just wonderful to see the children, because they really start to understand that that's not something that they should do, and it's their promise. I went to WCUC, it's the campus radio station, and to a live show for us, and they were doing a country western segment, and the radio station is set up for students. So I'm really proud of it. It's something the local community really enjoys and really listens to. There's everything from country to slow to 80s to hip-hop, depending on what time you tune in. It's a real big favorite here. I decided to get an interesting angle and actually stand on the pedestrian. You know, you have to yield for me. Except this really confused a lot of the drivers who kept trying to stop for me. One of them screamed out and asked me why I was doing it. Another one waved at me and sat there before I turned. So it was very interesting. Maybe it was too early in the morning to do that to them, but. The reason I decided to do this is I really wanted Clarion to be known for what it is. It's a wonderfully diverse, cultural, artistic community that has ballets come from Europe. We have plays put on that are the same place you'll find. We have great boutiques. And most of all, the people are just really nice and loving. And I really enjoy being part of this community, and I think I'm going to miss it when I graduate in December.
Jim Garbarino. I was born and raised in Clarion. I've lived here about 40 years. I live in town, which is on the Clarion River. It borders the Clarion River Reservoir, and it's approximately 14 miles of water that's deep water. It's dammed up at Piney Dam. A lot of water activities happen on the river, and I've done a few shots of my children. You might see on the Clarion River blue heron and some mallard ducks. I went around to parts of Clarion and got some people that I think are an important part of Clarion Fire Company. I interviewed Greg McGreen, the engines that they have right now at Clarion.
My name's Greg McGreen, I'm Assistant Chief, Clarion Volunteer Fire Department. Started in 1826, and you can see what we started with. And as present, we have 45 to 50 active members. We got 3 pumpers and just purchased a new ladder truck. Our calls average probably 250, 280 calls a year.
And also you'll see down at Clarion Hospital in the emergency room and the Clarion EMS building. And it's based out of Pittsburgh, but it's kept up here in Clarion to keep people around Clarion that need specialized care, maybe trauma, cardiac, neuro. They can get to a tertiary care center in 20 minutes. So we took a ride in the helicopter up around Clarion. There's a lot of woods around Clarion, which makes it nice. Clarion's a small community, which I tend to lean towards because I like smaller places, but yet you have the college here, which brings in some people, gives a smaller town some new this town nice. Being born and raised in Clarion, I love the town myself, and I think the nice attribute of Clarion being a smaller town, and plus you have a lot of activities with the Clarion River and all the woods around. If you like kayaking, there's also biking, hiking, and it gives you a lot of activities you can participate in, mainly because of the people that make up the community. There's some great people here in Clarion.
My name is Andrea Maitland-Davis. I'm originally from Clarion County, although I grew up in a rival town by the name of Knox. I own a shop called The Bathtub, and it's located on 604 Main Street. And we specialize in custom-made bath and body products and lipsticks and such. Once you step inside of my shop, I want to make you feel like you've entered a whole different world, especially something that you haven't seen before. For instance, you can go to your mainstream baths. Other places have either. You can come in and actually make a custom scent. You can come in and make a customized bath gel or body lotion or a bubble bath. And we can also make lip glosses and lipsticks and cosmetics. And it's all good stuff. I wanted to highlight the specialty shop. A lot of times people just pass the exit off of Interstate 80 and don't realize the eclectic style that Clarion really has to offer. And what I decided to do was to look at the ones that are a little bit more unique. For instance, the children's shop, which has children's clothing from ages 0 to 14, and going to dances made locally. And then going to Images of the West. She has some wonderful ethnic jewelry as well as Native American jewelry. And then going to Michelle's Cafe, which you can go in and get a steamed chai with a shot of vanilla and a bagel sandwich. This is here in Clarion to go to. And being in a college town, say for instance you go to another one, State College or IUP, their downtown district always has something that interests them, and it has a lot of culture too, which I'm proud to say that Clarion does as well. And that without having these stores, pretty much the downtown area would just be, you know, empty retail space. That it does add a lot to the community, and the downtown has been thriving and it's growing. You know, you go through a lull period and it's really picked up, and more shops are moving into the area, and the college is getting bigger, and it seems like everything's working positively towards making Clarion a better place to live and a more exciting downtown area to shop at. Part of a program that celebrates Clarion because I think there are a lot of people out there that kind of overlook it when they look at the map. There's just something about Clarion that it's just hometown America. And to me, it just seems so important to be able to walk down the street and say hi and have the person say hi back. And there's actually a smile and maybe a twinkle or something going on there where it's just, you know, they're just very warm and caring people here. And I like knowing that I'm a part of that.
I'm Kristen Marshall, and I've been here this is going on my 11th year, and I'm Associate Professor of Speech Communication at Clarion University. Well, we went to the Clarion Senior Center, which is more often called the Main Street Center, and I think that's the name that's on the actual building. And this has been in existence only a couple of years now, and it's a wonderful gathering place for seniors and other community groups, too. It's really well used. And we saw a wonderful exercise class with about 25 seniors in it, led by a lady who was just full of energy and had them all involved, men and women. More women than men. I think there are a couple of reasons that this project is really important to me. One is to be able to feature some of the really special parts of Clarion that really make Clarion Clarion, and just get out among the community folks and talk with them and do this.
6, 2,
Later in the day, we went back to Main Street Center again for a fundraising dinner that they were having, and I took two students with me, actually, Carrie LePou and Dan Lewin.
Hey, you gotta get some drunken drone in here.
My name's Carrie LePou. I'm from Mercer, Pennsylvania, which is about 45 minutes from Clarion here. I'm a student at Clarion University, majoring in communications, hoping to go into television broadcasting. I graduate in May, so I'll walk spring graduation, and I've been going to school here for 3 years. And interviewed Susan George, who is a volunteer at the center. She donated all the food for a dinner for the seniors there. They sold 100 tickets about at $7 a piece, and they raffled off candy baskets and different things like that. But she donated everything that was made. She donated, she cooked the meal, and then all the proceeds went to the senior center for different activities. I just think that it's an important part of Clarion because these people have been here for a very long time. They know a lot about, participate with many things, and a lot of the seniors here in the community are very, very kind to the college students, and it just kind of gives it that homey feeling, and I thought it was important to focus in on them and what they do here in the community.
My name's Tracy Fredley. I came to the university for schooling. I'm a junior. I'll probably be out here about another year and a half. I'm originally from a little town about 20 minutes outside of Butler towards Pittsburgh called Cabot. It's a little peaceful. It's just like Clarion. It's just a little main drag, and you can go out and feel safe and just be around. My story was on what is called the Golden Eagle Express. It's one of the only two public transportation here in town. The other one is the taxi. At first, no one really wanted to ride it because it was new, no one knew. So they used to have little fundraisers. If you rode it for so many times, you could hand in these tickets and you could receive prizes for it. And right now, college students are free, and senior citizens are also free, and then under 5. And then from 12 and under is 50 cents, and everyone else is $1. What's important about a project in the day in life of a small town is that you only get what actually happens. And the bus is pretty much something that it goes every day. It has a set schedule. As a communications major, I want to be in radio, but I also realize that I really enjoy being behind the camera and shooting the actual footage to know that someone's going to go out there and watch it and see something that I have produced. So it was fun. It was an experience that I may learn from in the long run.
My name is Smith, and I'm a professor up at Clarion University. And I came here with my wife back in '92 and started teaching up at the university. And we saved money for many years, and we finally bought our family farm. And what I filmed today was what we do every day from June through October, our participation at the Clarion County Farmers Market Association. And so we started off the day pulling out bread at 6 a.m., the first set of loaves, and then from there we loaded up the truck and headed into market. My wife, Rebecca, gets up at 4 a.m. to start the loaves, and then the kids get up about, I'd say about 7, and they follow me after I head into market. And my son his name is Jacob, and he is 7, just about 8, and my daughter Maeve is 5. She just turned 5, and so they're good helpers around the farm, and they go to market every week. The County Farmers Market is located at Clarion Memorial Park in downtown Clarion across from the courthouse. And it takes about 45 minutes to an hour for all the vendors to set up and get all of their materials and goods arranged in a way that's pleasing to them. And then at 8:30, we ring a bell, and that bell signals the start of market, and the customers usually are lined up, ready to see them waiting for all week long. And the customers are really a very great group of people, and they make the market a very special place, and mostly because they're so loyal. I mean, they come week after week, rain, sun, shine, snow, whatever, they're there. And they're very pleasant. So I had an opportunity to ask them what they liked most about the Clarion County Farmers Market, and they told me.
I like coming to the farmers market because it's so fun and I like the products.
Food and meat fresh. hot peppers, and a lot of variety.
I look terrible this morning. I'm so glad you're filming.
I think probably the best thing about the market is the way we all work together. And it's a great group of people. We're small family farms. We have diverse products that range from goat cheese to biscotti. I mean, there is just quite a range of herb vinegars, wild jams and jellies, just crazy stuff. And because we come, it makes it very easy for us to work together. And I had a chance to interview some of the vendors there too and ask them what they liked about being a part of the association, and they had some really nice things to say also.
Have a good trip. It's the very best kind of atmosphere you can have to work in. If you want to work, this is the way we do it.
This summer I have made rose petal jelly. I also make tomato jam, pickled vegetables, and also bread and butter pickles. Anything that anyone wants that I don't have, I'll try to figure out a way to make it for them.
We're the first certified organic farm in Clarion County, and that was a pretty interesting step for us. We had no idea when we first started thinking about doing organic farming what was all entailed, and it's a lot of fun for us because it allows us to grow food that we know is clean and it's good and it's fresh, and we do a lot of composting, a lot of different kinds of organic methods to improve our crops every year. The kids are planting garlic, and Rebecca's also planting garlic with them. In our row system, we have a couple different kinds of systems depending upon the landscape. We grow about 13 different kinds of garlic, and we have a dog, Danny, and we have 7 cats right now, and we have 18 ducks, 5 different breeds, and 2 rabbits. And so May does a lot of the taking care of the animals because we think she may want to be a veterinarian someday. She just really has a thing for animals. She really loves them. And Jake is more into bugs and things of that sort, and fish. So he likes to do those kinds of things on the farm. We wanted to show people what it's like to live on a farm and be part of a farmer's market, because we think the farmer's market is a very special organization, and the people who come, the customers who come really enjoy it. And they also thought it would be interesting to see what it's like on an organic farm. I think the reason we like it so much here in Clarion and why it's wonderful to raise a family here is because it is very much like Mayberry. There is an excellent safety level here. It's wonderful to raise children out in the country, but also bring them in town. And there's a wonderful downtown with a general hardware store, a general store, just a great place to live.
I'm Carol Cochran. I've lived here all my life. I grew up in a smaller town away from Clarion. I went to Clarion Limestone High School, and I went to Clarion University. I wanted to show you the neighborhood settings because it's so beautiful in Clarion. The tree-lined streets, especially now the leaves are falling, and it's just so pretty. You know, you've got that warm feeling, and I don't know, every time I go down the tree-lined streets, I just think, oh, nice. So other people don't get to enjoy this. We went to the Clarion Model Railroad Club. I'd been there a few times before and seen their train set up, and I wanted to go there and show everyone else. They do such an excellent job. They have, you know, the train layouts. They have different size trains there, and they have all the bells and whistles, so to speak, and the buildings and all the work they put into it. And some of the men were there that belonged to the club and were able to, you know, explain it to us.
Hi, my name is Rich Steiner. I'm the founder of the Clarion Model Railroad Club. I want to welcome you to our club today. The club started in 1980. We started at the Clarion Mall. We were there for 8 years, then we moved to Brookville, where we lost everything in a fire 2 years later. So we decided to move here and rebuild, and it's been a long haul, but it's been really a lot of fun and worthwhile. Met a lot of good guys. We have about 35 members now here. We rebuilt everything in this room. The room was empty, completely empty. We repainted it, light lit it up, everything. And so what you see is a result of 10 years of hard work.
That some people don't realize is there. Even though they advertise and they're always out there, it's just, you see the sign, but you never go back maybe and take a look. And so this is an opportunity to show people what's actually in there and how really neat it is. I went to the YMCA out of Clarion County, out on Route 322, and showed you all the fitness facilities that they have in there. And besides what they have for adults, I was extremely surprised myself. They have a room for youth. This for the smaller kids, not adults, so that the younger people can get into their weight training as well. It's interesting. You can see the difference in the equipment. It was neat. The Frogtown Post Office is a small community building that resembles like a place where children watch for the bus. And they put it together about 30 years ago so that the postman didn't have to stop at all the houses. Frogtown is just a small community. It's just a small grouping of houses. There's a couple businesses there, and I'm not sure even how many houses are there. In the post office, they have like 10 people that utilize that. There's 10 mailboxes inside. And it's kind of cute. It has a little sign out front, and people, they even have a mail drop off there, so that use it just like the rural people do out at the end of their driveway. It's cute. Having a camera and being able to go out and film this and show other people, it's kind of neat. Because everybody knows some little different place that maybe nobody else thinks about. So you get to show them, well, hey, did you know this little corner existed? I wanted to take this opportunity to kind of investigate the community and get it on film. And, I had a great time talking to these people and finding out interesting little things about places that I didn't even know. And it was just great to be able to share it.
My name's Gwen Wills, and I've lived in the area basically all my life, nearly 50 years now. I was gone for a while, but have returned. We went to Cook's Forest today, just about 6 or 7 miles north of Clarion. There's a man up there that has a riding stable, Cook Forest Scenic Rides, and a lot of people come in here from all over the country, really the eastern coast, anywhere from Illinois from Canada. They come up from in Delaware, and they bring their horses in and camp at his facility and ride the area on horseback. A lot of people are older people, and they really can't enjoy nature because of their physical conditions anymore, but people can come and ride and see the deer and enjoy the river and enjoy just what nature has to offer and what this area has to offer. Back 20, 30 years ago, people would say, oh, you're from Clarion County. You're from where all those horse thieves are from. And there's a whole history of it. In the 1880s, there were 7,000 horses and 101 mules in Clarion County. It was in the statistics in this book I read. And it was a time when the cavalry needed horses. They needed horses to go out west when the westward movement was on, and stealing horses was a large industry. Equitopia is a new barn, a new horse facility in our area. They raise Morgan horses, they show, they drive. Jean and Sonia Brown own the barn and are the trainers. They do riding lessons. They have clients that come and ride their horses. They may ride their own horses there, or they may come and take lessons on some of Jean and Sonia's horses. But that's a new facility in our area. There's very caring people here. They're very concerned about their neighbors. They're concerned about helping others. The first thing I thought of when I knew this was going to take place, our town Clarion, was Foxview Manor, which is a therapeutic riding stable. They work with children and adults who have various disabilities. A friend of mine is an instructor, and she works very hard with the children and schedules all the volunteer help. And as I said, I volunteer there. And we see such an improvement on the children and the adults that come there and interact with the horses. And this is just another story of how horses, someone said of a man, well, it's good for the inside of a child, and a woman and a mother, when you see the change in the adults and the other adults that come and work with these animals and how it brings them out of their shell. I wanted to be a part of this project with our town Clarion because this community is very caring. People are willing to help each other. It takes a whole community. They say that, you know, it takes a whole community to raise a child, and around Clarion we believe that, and we work very hard in that direction.
Clarion all my life, and my family has been here for at least 4 or 5 generations, because my grandfather's older brother started Crook's Clothing. My grandfather purchased the store from him. My father followed him after World War II and retired after 50 years, and I assumed the ownership about 10 years ago. It's a fairly good-sized store. It's a 10,000 square foot, men and women's shoes, big and tall, is the way I like to describe it. It has expanded over the years. We've gone through major renovations. So I kind of wanted to give an overview of the store. Then I did kind of a shot of the Timberland boots, made a shot of that. I also taped the women's store, which is called, with a big addition in 1969. And she ran that store with her addition to the store in 1989. We doubled the size of the women's store. And then I thought it would be interesting to kind of go down through the basement of the store. It's a place where most customers don't get to see, and it's filled with all kinds of leftovers down there. I showed on the tape some pictures of old equipment that we used to use, that my grandfather used and my father used during his career. I showed a collar box that was bought at the store. It used to be that, you know, you didn't change your shirt, you just changed the collar was the thing that would get soiled. So maybe you kept your shirt on for a whole week, but every day you'd put a new collar on. It is very interesting history when you think that the store survived during the Depression. You know, in the Depression, the store, and they'd only turn the lights on when a customer came in. They were so conservative. I mean, they just did everything to survive. It's nice to walk in the same steps that my grandfather and my dad walked in. It's kind of cool. But in reality, you're only as good as the products you carry, and taking care of the customers fair price. That's what keeps people. That's what people are interested in. I thought it would be interesting to show some of the Puritan pottery, because this is one thing that's known. I went to Blair and Doris Puritan's home and took pictures, and they have a very extensive collection. Pottery went from 1941 to in the 50s. There's people, there's between 150 and 200 collectors that come from all over the country to buy and sell and talk about Puritan pottery. I think Clarion is a very unique and really stands out as a Western Pennsylvania community. The thing that makes all of our towns special are a downtown viable, and people are very, very proud. Not just the business community, but people are very, very proud of our downtown and the whole community. We don't have any boarded up buildings in Clarion. It's really amazing. There are no boarded up homes. People have a lot of pride in how they maintain their properties. It's a great place to live and raise a family.
I'm Alice Turo, and I've lived in Clarion County for 17 years. I started my day with some members of the Seneca Rocks Audubon Society. We went bird banding at a bird banding station that belongs to Walter that are migrating or residential birds in nets, extracting them from the nets, putting aluminum bands on them, and then releasing them. And in the process, a birder might get some other statistics on them, like the age and the sex of the bird. And Walter was doing that today. And while he was doing it, he was talking to the kids that were in attendance, taking time to teach them exactly what he was doing. And I know that Walter's been doing this for about 40 years. And in the process, he's made some lifelong nature lovers from kids that have observed him long ago.
Now just hold it like you would a little cotton ball. Just hard enough so it don't fall, but not hard enough to hurt it. Just walk outside and open up your hand.
There it goes.
Then I went with a group to my farm, and they set up their scopes and were looking in the field for some birds. They saw white-throated sparrows, flitters, and some birds. I like it because it's a fun, dynamic, and very knowledgeable group. Some of them have been birding for 20 or 30 years, but no matter what, they welcome new faces, myself, who are beginner birders. And I think they really serve to introduce individuals, no matter what their age, to nature and their experience outdoors more. I also went to a site outside of Clarion. It's called the Strattonville Reed Mine Reclamation Site. And I met an individual there who's a member of an organization called PEACE. That stands for Protect Environment and Children Everywhere. His name is John Pokrivka. We call him Pokey. And he gave me a tour of this reclamation site and the changes in the land over the number of years that he has lived nearby to it.
They were going to commit 2 feet of topsoil off, bulldoze all these pine trees out of here, 3 feet high ash. And we all thought that we didn't want to dump right across from my place. As beautiful as it is, but we fought them for 4 years.
There were a lot of astonishing things that happened as a result of people's commitment to keep this area the way it is. You know, there's been some damage to it over the years, but the lay of the land is beautiful, and the people respect that, and they respect the lifestyle they have.
I think we have relationships here and a style of living that people in the city probably yearn for, or they reminisce about. We know each other, we know our neighbors, and also the quality of life outdoors. We've got beautiful countryside, farmlands and forests, beautiful Main Street in which people are on a first-name basis. And I think it's a fine area in which to live and to raise kids.
I've been raised here, and I own the radio station in town. Today I did various things. I went through the community. I stopped at True Value Hardware, which is a kind of a landmark business here in Clarion. George Shaw is the owner. His dad started the store. It's the kind of store where you go into and whatever you need, they generally have it. And I took some shots of George, and I interviewed George, the owner, and he's a little camera shy. So I left it at that. Then later I moved on down Main Street to Mazzocchi Realty. Sal Mazzocchi is a young businessman. He's been in the real estate business for probably 10, 12 years. And you might see a shot of my little boy, my 2-year-old, and Sal's his gut. The Clarion football game, it was Clarion University versus Slippery Rock, and in the end, Slippery Rock won. It was a real close game. It was a good game to watch, perfect weather for it. I also got to speak with the president, Diane Reinhardt, just to ask her what it's like to be a president around it, and she had some real positive things to say about the students and about community people themselves.
I've been working with Texas University. It's a great university and teaching members. This town is not a town that doesn't support its university, and we support the community. It's a great place to live.
It's my hometown, and I really want to promote Clarion. We have a great community here, and we have great people, and atmosphere. It's here. You know, Main Street, the quality of life. I feel we all have it here, and it's something that you can't take for granted. You have to keep improving it and enjoy it.
My name is Laura Smith, and I'm in Clarion since 1994. I was a college student, and I graduated in 97, and been here ever since. I was at Keystone High School for the Keystone Red Deck Valley game, and I'm a statistician, so during my break at halftime, I caught the halftime show, and then I got to see the Keystone High School Marching Band perform their show. I caught our announcers, Bob Dunkel and Pat Kale, in action during the halftime show.
Well, we heard happening from down there. Well, you know, I think we were all surprised 7-6 at the end of one, but again, you never know what goes on whenever you get them on. So what's Sunbury? You know, that's a difficult place to play at.
After the game, our sidelines guy for C93, Jonathan Schaefer, interviewed the head coach of the Keystone football team, Dan Reed, after the game. So I they were on the field, so I got that while they were doing that interview.
No, I didn't make it yet. Online, I used to draft.
The study was done last year on 30 hospitals in Pennsylvania, Maryland.
I went to WCCR, WWCH, C93, Radio 13, and there we saw our news director, Frank Stacy, doing a newscast.
Other related matters will also be addressed with a report. Here's Ray Smith.
News website were being worked on prior to September 11th, but there was a greater...
See my husband, Ron Smith, doing his report.
Afternoon with the Yankees sending postseason ace Orlando Hernandez to the mound. The Mariners counter with 20-game winner Jamie Moyer, who was 2-0 with a 1.35 ERA in 2 starts against New York this season.
Our AM station, Radio 13, is country music, and during the night, we're in talk shows. And our FM station is top 40 pop, contemporary type music stuff that some teenagers like stuff, and then some adults for adults to like as well. And it's 24 hours music, except for, you know, jumping for newscasts and weather and things of that nature.
We have 53 degrees in Clarion. Got a large pizza to give away from Papa John's Pizza. Persons can call in and give me a good Halloween howl.
I went to the Captain Loomis Inn, which is a lot of different functions. They have a restaurant, they have banquet rooms, they have a bar, they have a nightclub, and they also have a six-pack shop, so it has a lot of different things. And I went to the Captain Loomis because that's, you know, a place that I hang out and frequent, and I think it's a big pillar in the community. A lot of people are familiar with it, and it's a really neat place, has a lot of history.
I'm Ed Flanagan. I'm the general manager of the Captain Loomis Inn. The Captain Loomis Inn, and see the picture on the mirror. That's Captain John B. Loomis, former owner. It was founded in 1845 by he and his wife Mary. Captain Loomis died in battle in Manassas and was brought back to Clarion a year later by his wife. The business has been sold numerous times since 1845. It's currently owned by the Therese family. Stephen J. Therese of Annapolis, Maryland, purchased the business in 1987. We have done major renovations to the entire building from upstairs to downstairs. We have a full-service restaurant, fine dining. We have a nightclub, open 7 days a week. We have a private lounge for parties. We also have 2 banquet facilities.
I saw another Our Town show, and I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really neat idea, and I thought, wow, that'd be really nice if they did one in Clarion, so I really would like to be a part of it. And when I heard that it was, I just jumped at the chance to participate on it, and I'm glad that we had a chance to be in it and to show what a great town Clarion is.
I'm Justin Young. I came to Clarion for communications, college student. This is my 3rd year at the university. I went to the Clarion News. I went to show the small town newspaper in Clarion. And we took a shot across from the street of the outside of the building. And it's both the Derrick and the News are in the same building. It's 2 newspapers in the same building. I interviewed Jeff Say, who's the sports guy for Clarion News. He covers all the local sports.
My name is Jeff Say. I'm the sports editor here at the Clarion News. Started here in August of 2000, and I was a senior in college here at Clarion University when I first started, and I ended up graduating. I decided I wanted to stick with the job and stay in Clarion for a little bit. I like the small town atmosphere, and I enjoyed working with the sports departments here at the university and with the 7 high schools that I cover: the Keystone, Allegheny Clarion Valley, Red Bank Valley, Clarion area, Clarion Limestone, and North Clarion high schools. All the sports, anywhere from football to girls softball, and I just enjoy most about the job is with the coaches and the small town atmosphere, being able to know everybody. I came from a small town originally, and Clarion's become like my second hometown now.
I want to be a part of this program because I want to get experience interviewing, using cameras, doing a project like this to have people to view it, to get experience in that field.
Hi, my name's Hank Huffnagel. I've lived in Clarion since I was 3 months old. My family has been here since 1837, when they emigrated from Germany. And my father worked in Buffalo, New York during World War II, and that's why I wasn't born in the county. I found I-80 and get off at the Clarion exit. As you come in towards the town, the first thing that you see on the skyline is the courthouse. Currently, it's all covered in scaffolding, and so it's very hard to see. but it's quite an interesting building. It was built in Queen Anne-style architecture. It's about 215 feet high, and at the top is an 11-foot statue of Justice. The interior of the courthouse is just as interesting as the outside, though. Once you're in, it's quite an interesting place. I went in and was guided around to various places by two of the commissioners. On the first floor is a remarkable foyer, which has an interesting tile floor, and off this lets various county offices. In one of these, you can go and see one of the oldest documents in the county, a book of deeds written in 1830, just after the county was formed. Now, the courthouse that's currently standing isn't the first courthouse. It's the third, in fact. The first was in 1843, cost $10,000, and burnt down around 1860. So they built another one. It cost $17,000, and it lasted about 20 years as well. Well, by 1883 or so, the money was rolling into the county coffers because we were in the middle of the oil boom here in Clarion County. And so they spent a whopping sum of $126,000 to build the courthouse that has lasted all these years. I think it's about 118 years old at this point. 42,000 days it has been standing. We visited the courtroom, courtroom number 1, where all the big trials have been held forever. And then they took me to what I really wanted to see, which was the clock tower. We went up a level and got in under the beams of the main building and saw how the roof is supported, and then went up the tower another flight and came to the clockwork mechanism, which is the original one from 1883, except that it's been converted to be run by electric motors sometime about 20 years. More level, you come to the bell tower, and they rang the bell, and boy, did it boom up there. I hate to hear more than one stroke of the bell up there. Letting off of the clock tower are 4 balconies, which are perilous at the moment because of the renovation process, but I got out onto 2 of them and was able to get views of Clarion to the west and down towards the river. Behind the courthouse, another interesting building, the old jail, the second jail in the county. The first jail was built around 1840 and cost about $6,000. It became dilapidated and run down and insecure, and so during the oil excitement, they decided to build a new jail, and they went a little overboard, some people would say. The front of the jail is made from brick and resembles a Norman castle. It's got a turret with one of those crosses where you can shoot arrows out of if you're a mind to. I don't think it's ever been used for that purpose. And in old line drawings of the jail, you can see a man with a telescope up on the top of that tower at the countryside looking for escaped prisoners, I presume. I don't think that has ever happened. Currently, there's a welter of aerials poking out from the top of the turret, and those support 911 services that are located in the building. Now, in old times, the warden had to live in the jail with the prisoners, and his wife did the cooking for the prisoners. And they lived in the nice brick part of the house, and it's quite nice. It's a little Victorian in nature. It has very tall ceilings, but the light comes in there most of the day. And although it's in sad shape at the moment, you can certainly half close your eyes and get a feel of what it must have been like to live, probably in splendor, with all these prisoners at your back. When I was at the courthouse, I noticed portraits of all the old legal officials of the county lining the walls. And one of them grabbed my attention. His name was W.W. Barr. And I started trucking around Clarion, not just for him, but for him and 2 other gentlemen as well. Up in the cemetery, Clarion Cemetery, which is one of the best, according to my mother, I found the tombstones of these 3 gentlemen. W.W. Barr, William Barr, was a famous attorney in Clarion. His tombstone's in the cemetery. But his house still exists, and in fact was pictured in the old Atlas of Clarion County, done in 1877. And as it turns out, W.W. Barr's house is right next to mine, so I was pretty pleased about that. George Washington Arnold, I'm sure he was just called G.W. He was a famous banker, no doubt had a lot to do with the prosperity of Clarion around the years 1880 to 1920. Today, G.W.'s house is Irma's Fine Furniture, which is right across the street from the Catholic Church. The third of the 3 men is perhaps the most interesting. His name was Charlie Kaufman. He was a Jewish gentleman who immigrated to Clarion when he was about 18 years old, started a store, and gradually the store expanded to handle nearly everything. He was very involved in the founding of the college and the founding of the International Order of Odd Fellows, the Masons, various other organizations in the town. Other generations have made a little bit of an effort to save a record, and this is our chance to save a record of what Clarion's like here and now in the year 2001.
Our town, Clarion, was made possible in part by Clarion University of Pennsylvania, advancing academic excellence and shaping professional careers since 1867. On the web, clarion.edu.